Look at the chair you are sitting on, or the clothes you are wearing. They did not appear by magic. If you watch a carpenter take a rough piece of timber pulled from a forest and systematically cut, plane, and join it, that raw wood eventually becomes a highly expensive, polished dining table. We go through intense physical effort to satisfy human needs. These are requirements for biological survival. If you don't secure clean water to drink or basic shelter to protect you from the elements, you will not survive. But mere survival is rarely enough. We also have human wants. These are desires that make life comfortable, like craving a hot Rolex from a street vendor or buying a luxury smartphone. These wants are unending. The moment you get a bicycle, you start wanting a motorcycle. This creates a permanent tension. Nature provides us with rough, unfinished environments, dirt, trees, and minerals. Humans, meanwhile, possess an endless, constantly evolving list of complex desires. Bridging that gap is the deliberate, highly organized process we call production. It is the specific act of transforming those raw, untouched materials into valuable goods that satisfy exactly what people are looking to buy. Every manufactured product starts its journey at primary production. This is the extraction phase, where we pull raw materials directly from the earth, like these farmers out in a field manually harvesting raw white cotton. That raw cotton has very little value on its own. It has to move into secondary production. This is the manufacturing stage. Inside facilities like this, raw materials are physically processed, woven, and cut to turn them into usable components and finished fabrics. Finally, the fabric enters tertiary production, which covers services and distribution. This is the stage where the product is customized and delivered to the buyer. A local tailor uses this stage when she sews that fabric into a school uniform and sells it directly to a parent. This flowchart maps out a clear chronological dependency. Primary extraction feeds directly into secondary manufacturing, which then relies entirely on tertiary services to reach the buyer. Without successfully passing through every one of these sequential stages, raw seeds in the dirt can never become a shirt that satisfies a consumer's want. Let's zoom in on that middle stage, the factory floor. To actually run a manufacturing business, an owner must gather 4 specific economic inputs. This grid lays out those ingredients. First is land. This covers all the foundational natural resources, like the physical space for the building, the soil, and the water. The economic reward paid out for using land is called rent. Second is labor. You need human physical and mental effort to process the materials. The reward given to the workers for that effort is wages. Third is capital. This includes cash, but it heavily relies on the man-made tools required to scale the work, the heavy machinery, vehicles, and factory equipment. The economic reward for capital is interest. Finally, there is the entrepreneur. This is the human organizer who actively assumes the risk of combining the other 3 factors. If they succeed, they earn the ultimate reward, profit. You can secure the best land, hire willing workers, and buy heavy machines, but without an entrepreneur taking a calculated risk to organize them, those raw materials remain stagnant and useless. Once those resources are gathered, they must be optimized. If one person tries to build a product from start to finish, the process is slow. By using division of labor, a business breaks the work down into smaller, specialized assembly line tasks. Speed increases, and workers become highly skilled. The entrepreneur also has to make strict, calculated decisions regarding their capital. When purchasing heavy machinery, they must evaluate the price, its durability, and whether a local mechanic actually has the spare parts to fix it. Then comes the strategy of what to sell. Many businesses rely on specialization, focusing entirely on producing one single item. This creates vulnerability. If a tomato farmer's crop gets a disease, the entire business fails. To protect against that, smart owners use diversification. They grow tomatoes, they raise pigs, and plant cabbages. This builds a reliable safety net. If one product fails, the other products will keep the cash flowing. Gathering resources is only the beginning of the process. Long-term profitability relies on maximizing labor efficiency and actively mitigating external risks. At the end of this long chain of extraction, processing, and risk management, a finished product is placed in front of a buyer. At that exact moment, the consumer's driving want is satisfied. The money they spend flows right back down the chain. It becomes the profit for the entrepreneur, the interest to pay off the machines, the wages for the factory workers, and the rent for the farmers who pulled the raw material from the dirt. Because human desires are unlimited, this cycle never stops. The moment a person satisfies one want, a new one emerges, guaranteeing a perpetual, endless demand for new production. Integrating land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship allows you to take unshaped potential in your own environment, organize the right resources, and build wealth.